Happy New Year, crafty friends. My name is Melissa, and today we are going to make a card using the Spellbinders LetterPress Kaleidoscope Flowers and the Always and Forever sentiment strips. Now, I picked this up and I fell in love with it, the design, and I needed a quick sympathy card, so I pulled this out for that. And I actually came up with quite a few different ideas. So I am going to show you like 3 or 4 different ways that you can use this. So you can see I have used it. I've got it on my glimmer machine. It's all warmed up. First, we are going to hot foil. It's been warming up. My timer is done. So I am going to pull this out. I will put my foil on there. Shiny side down. You don't want to get foil on that plate there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll put my plates on top. I've got my foil, my paper, and then my plates that came with the machine. You always put the green plate down first, and I will run this through my die cutting machine. Put that back on there, and then let's have a look. Oh, I'm so excited. This is the best part. But first, let's go ahead and get that off of there. We want to also do our sentiments. So let's get our sentiment plate on there, and then we can take a look here. Let's peel that off, and this is just amazing. I love that each and every time. That is so pretty. All that foil detail in there. We didn't get any over foiling, and that is just so pretty. So now we're going to wait for our sentiment plate to heat up. The timer went off. Our sentiment plate is heated up. Let's get our foil on there. Shiny side down. Our paper, and I am using the hammer mill smooth for my sentiments here, and also the main piece that we did. Let me run this through, get that back on there, and see what we've got. And that is beautiful. So now we've also got sentiments, but we are going to go even further. Let's take this one off and bring in our solid plate, because we are going to get 2 for 1 out of this. So I've got my solid plate on there. That is going to need a little while to heat up. So what I'm going to do while that's heating up, I am going to go die cut my sentiments and trim out my first panel. So my timer went off. Our solid plate is all warmed up. Let's pull that out. Sometimes it's a little tight. And now we are going to foil the reverse. I've got my reverse image here. I've got another piece of the hammer mill, and I like to just kind of look through the light, and I can make sure that I've got that piece of paper lined up perfectly with the image, because sometimes it can be crooked if you don't do that. So we've got that on there. Let's put our top plates and run that through the die cut machine, and let's take a look at our reverse image. Let's see how that came out, and that is beautiful. Oh my goodness, that came out so good. So let's go ahead and leave this on there. We want that to warm up again, and then we are going to reverse image our sentiments. Our timer went off again. Let's get that out of there, and here we will hot foil the reverse image of our sentiments. Just place that on there, shiny side up with your paper. Again, run that through the machine, and let's see what we got. Okay, that looks wonderful, I think. So we don't need this any longer. Let me get this out of the way. And what I like to do here, because the whole piece got foiled down there, you don't have the little edge to pull up the cellophane, the clear piece. I like to just take a little piece of tape, and I can lift that clear cellophane right off, and that just makes it easier for die cutting. So I am going to go ahead and die cut this. And I love it when there is a die that will cut all your sentiments at one time. So let me get this die cut. I hope I'm not getting my head in the way there. I think that is probably pretty even. I just put a piece of tape on the top and a little piece of tape on the bottom. So I trimmed out my panel. I ran my second set of sentiments through the machine. They just pop right out of the die, and you get a whole bunch of beautiful sentiments. So now we've gotten 2 for 1 with our foil. We only used one piece of foil, but we got 2 cards, and I can't wait to put these together. Actually, what I do here is I swap the sentiments for a little bit of contrast. But let's first, before we put our cards together, we're going to make another image, but this time we are going to letterpress. So I wanted to do kind of a watercolor look here. So I've got some of my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, and I've got purple. We're just going to scribble a little purple on there. That's a darker purple. Then we've got some of our lighter. We're just going to scribble that on there. We are going to bring in a piece of watercolor paper. Actually, it's the cotton paper. And I like the Crane's Lettra a lot. It is so soft. So let's bring in our spray bottle here. And we're going to do kind of a loose watercolor type background. We don't need a lot on there, but we do need some color, and that's perfect. That is so pretty. So we will set this aside to dry. And actually, I already have one that's done because I wanted to kind of speed it up. I don't like it when my videos get too terribly lengthy. So let's go ahead and bring in our watercolor panel along with our LetterPress platform here. I've got a couple panels here that I did last night. I'm not sure which one I like better. Let's use this one. So talking about the paper, let's do that first because I did talk about the paper one other time in another video, and Spellbinders has the LetterPress cotton card panels. You get 25 in a pack, and they are standard A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I really like the, let me get this out of there. I really like the Crane's Lettra pure cotton paper. It comes in 8 1/2 by 11. You get 125 sheets. I cut that into 4. I cut that into panels, and it comes out to a much more economical price per A2 panel. So just keep that in mind. I will put a link in the description for the Crane's Lettra paper. I get that on Amazon, and I am an Amazon affiliate. So if you do purchase through that link, it does help me. So I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and do our letterpress here. And I just love how this looks. It comes out so nice. You can get that nice and centered in there. Let's see. Because we've got our A2 panel here. I had to go put lotion on my hands. My hands are so dry. Okay, so we've got that centered. And I do like to use a little shim. So I will use 2 pieces of A2 here. We're going to line that up on our base. And let's see. I'm going to pull this back just so I can see it. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in there. And we will tape down the corners. I don't like to put a lot of tape on the panel because sometimes the tape will rip your panel. Now we are going to trim this out so it won't be too evident, but I still like to be careful. And because I've got my purple panel here, I'm going to use Pink Fresh Studio Opulence. I want some definition in there. I want it to be a little darker. And as you can see, my plate here is stained, but it does not affect it in any way. And I even ran a blank piece of paper through the machine just to see if the ink would transfer because it was stained, and I got nothing. So it's just like a stamp. The color remains, it does stain, but it does not affect your plate in any way. And I've just been cleaning my plates with stamp cleaner, and it seems to be working really well for me. Now I do have some of the LetterPress inks, but I only use those for coloring. We're not actually coloring anything here. So we're just going to use the dye ink instead of the LetterPress ink. If you're going to be using alcohol markers or watercolor or anything like that, you want to use the Spellbinders LetterPress ink. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead, put this on here, and run that through. Let's see what we get. And that is absolutely beautiful. I love that. With that purple watercolor background. Oh my goodness. That is just beautiful. I wish you guys could see the detail that you get with this. It is so, so pretty. The texture, the feel of the paper. You've got that LetterPress look, and it's just amazing. Okay, so let's move on to our, you know what, let's clean this real quick. I'm just using my stamp cleaner. Give it a good once over. And that's good. So let's do our sentiment strip. So we have a matching sentiment strip. And that doesn't need to be absolutely perfect in there. And I will reuse that same piece of cotton cardstock that I used earlier, because I do like the shim. I think it just gives me a little bit more pressure, and I get just a little bit more of that LetterPress look. So we will ink up our sentiment strip here. We don't want to press too hard because we don't want to get ink where it shouldn't be. We are using a dye ink, not the LetterPress ink, so we want to be extra careful. I hope everyone is having a happy new year. And don't forget to watch my video from last week, my gnome video. I am giving away one of those cards, so you need to watch that video and comment and tell me which one was your favorite. And I will do a drawing. I think I said on January 21st. I will send one of those cards to you, and you have plenty of time to get it to your loved one. So make sure you go back and watch that video from last week. So let's go ahead and do this. We're all inked up. We're going to run it through. I love the reveal. It is so pretty. Oh my goodness, that came out really good. I am a little disappointed though. You know what? We might do that over because I think I was pressing too hard. So let's just give it a little. We seem to have gotten ink where I didn't want it, but I think that was because I was pressing too hard. So let's try over. We're just going to gently rub this ink pad on there. And this is a dye ink. It's not the LetterPress ink. So we just need to take a little bit more caution in inking that up. Let's try again. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. It does look good, but I want it a little bit more crisp. So I'm going to do that over. Get our tape on the corners. And let's try again. Let's see what we get this time. There we go. That is a little better. I think I was just a little too aggressive with my stamping there, so that's good. We are going to take these. It's so pretty. I wish you could feel it and see it. So let's get this out of here. We need to wipe this off. Actually, I'll do that later. I am going to go ahead and trim out my panel and cut my sentiments. And then we will move on. So I trimmed out my panel here and I also die cut my sentiments. I think for this one, I want this to be a birthday. So, yeah, let's do a birthday. Happy birthday. Hello, sweet friend. What else should we use? Well, let's do thank you. Forever grateful and thank you. And I have noticed that sometimes, and then we have all these sentiments left over. I have noticed sometimes that with the Spellbinders dies, I do get a little bit of a copper color on the edge of my sentiments when I cut them out. So I'll just take my eraser here and I will just gently clean that edge just like that. And that's perfect. You're just shaving off the little hairs there. Just like that. So we've got one card here. That one needed a little bit extra shaving. And then we've got two here. We've got our foil and our reverse foil. Like I said, I needed a sympathy card earlier, which is why I did this. And it was so easy. And look, I have all these sentiments left over. Then for this one, we can make this one be hello, sweet friend. Let's do happy birthday, if I can find it. There we go. Happy birthday. And these are so easy to put together from here. I am just going to go ahead and add my sentiments. Well, let's do this. We'll put some foam tape behind them so they stick up just a little. And I am so unorganized today. I can't believe it. We'll put a little bit of foam tape behind our sentiment strips. I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I feel kind of rushed today, and I don't know why. I hope you all have a fabulous New Year's Eve. We won't do much. I think we may just make a fire in the fire pit, hang out outside, and just enjoy the beautiful evening. We don't do much on New Year's. So I have a question for you. When do you take down your Christmas decorations? that one's stuck. When do you take down your Christmas decorations? Do you take them down the day after? Ah, that's like a booger. I can't get rid of it. Okay, so when do you take down your Christmas decorations? Do you take them down the day after Christmas, or do you wait until New Year's? It's such a dilemma anymore. I used to leave them up until after New Year's when my son was little because I thought leaving the decorations up a little bit longer for him would just maybe encourage, nice memories of the holiday season. And I just felt like I needed to leave everything up a little bit longer for him. But now that I'm older, he's no longer in the house. It's just my husband and myself. I like them to be put away the next day. You know what? Christmas is over. The hustle and bustle, the stress of it all, we're done. I like to put them away the next day anymore. I don't know. Christmas seems to start so early anymore in the year, and I'm done. So that's my question. How long do you leave your decorations up after Christmas? Leave me a comment and let me know. I've got a couple little stragglers here, pieces of paper that need to come off on that one. So I will go ahead and I will put these together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of foam behind each one, and I am going to attach them to card bases. Okay, so I've got our cards all put together. All we need to do is add embellishments. We have our hot foil and our reverse hot foil. We have our watercolor background with the letterpress paper and the letterpressed into there. And last night I was thinking, well, why can't I hot foil onto the cotton paper? Well, I made it work. There was no overfoiling, and this is beautiful. I wish you could see this in real life. This is just amazing. The detail that you get in there. But you cannot do the reverse foiling. I tried the reverse foiling on a piece of cotton paper, and that just didn't come out. It's all blurry. It's not pretty. So on the cotton paper, it does not work. But the reverse foiling on the hammer mill did kind of work. It just is a little bit, you can see in the detail there for the leaves, you lose a lot of detail when you use your cotton panel reverse. So I hot foiled on the cotton panel, and then my reverse that came off of that just is not clear. So I won't be using the reverse when I hot foil on the cotton panel, but that's okay. So you have to make that decision if you want to only use that piece of foil one time, or if you want to use that piece of foil twice and get two images. See, here's a good way to look at it. Let's turn it this way. You can see that a lot of that leaf detail, there's a lot of little details that just didn't come out real well, but it's still beautiful. So let's go ahead and get these embellished. I'm using my champagne rhinestones for the rose gold foil. And then I am going to use, I'm not sure which one. I think I want to use the amethyst. I think I want to go for the sparkle. So let's do that. I will go ahead and get these embellished. So I've got all my embellishments on there, on my cards, and I just wanted to show you so you can get 2 for 1 hot foiling with your letterpress plate. You do the reverse foiling and you can get 2 for 1 piece of foil there. You can use the cotton panel and you can letterpress into that on a watercolor panel, and I just love that. It's so whimsical. You can hot foil your letterpress plate on the cotton panel, and I am in love with that look. I wish you could feel it. I wish you could see this and just hold it in your hand. It is so beautiful. You can also letterpress and color it in. I did this with the letterpress ink, and I did it in bark and the color bark, and then I colored it in with my zig markers. And I must have been in a very dark mood when I did this because it's dark, but I love it. I already know which friend I'm going to give this to, and it just came out beautiful. I wish you could really see all that detail, the letterpress detail. That is just amazing. Then I've also got another. I did this in the, which color is this? This is the rose gold. I also did this one in the rose gold, and I added some embellishments on that. Here I did a watercolor panel in yellow and pink on the cotton. I letterpressed it, and I used the Tuscan color ink, the letterpress Tuscan on that one. Then I've got another one here on the cotton panel, letterpressed. I used, which color did I use? I think I used, I'm not sure which color I used. I used the letterpress ink, and you just get a really nice, clean, crisp image with that letterpress ink. Here I hot foiled. I used the matte gold. I got my 2-for-1 because I used the reverse. And those are just beautiful. These are such quick and simple cards, and you can make 10 in an hour. They are just beautiful. So all the different ways you can use your letterpress plates, hot foiling, pressing, and you get a different look each time. They are just beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.